Next up, we have legendary battle music from the Pokemon Black and White 2 OST. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I am a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be a professionally trained musician to understand what is happening here musically. If you like the sound of that, you're watching this and wherever, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Keep in mind, this is my first time listening to this, so I will be pausing a lot as I will be pointing things out as I hear them. And keep in mind, this is recorded on a single take, live on stream. My shoulder is messed up. I am getting it treated, but the pain might distract me here and there and might maybe lose my train of thought. With that said, let's do this. Legendary battle music. Let's go. Okay, so we started with several elements. First, we started with a high synth giving us a nice entering line. Then we introduced the drums with the bass. And this is something that Pokemon does a lot. Pokemon makes a lot of these really, really cool bass lines with their battle music. And it's usually we unlocked an emote on Twitch. So when it comes to this kind of stuff, their battle music, they've made sure to add a lot of bass in their battle music. Why? I don't know, but it just works. And now we come to associate whenever there's a lot more bass, it's battle music for Pokemon. When it comes to Pokemon, they usually have very, very hectic soundtracks. So let's see what we get next. Okay, so we have a panned version of this. So let's talk about the concept of panning. Panning, of course, is nowadays we have stereo speakers. So we have the left ear, we have the right ear, and here we have yourself all happy, bald, deformed, bald, therefore evil. So when it comes to panning, there are two types. This is a colloquial thing that I say. Colloquial means there's no either there's no official term or I'm just not using it. So I see two types of panning: active versus passive. Passive just means you set the pan to a certain point. But what is panning? Panning just means the focus of an element is somewhere in one ear or another. Because usually when you have both, let's say we have a guitar track, right? And the guitar track is playing at full volume on both the left and the right ear, it's going to sound like it's coming from the front. But if you turn down the volume on the left ear, the more you turn it down, the more far to the right it's going to sound like it's coming. And the reason why I'm saying this, because the drums are doing that. The hi-hat is panned to the right ear. So passive panning would be if the hi-hat stays on that right ear the entire time. Active panning would be if it changes over time. That's just the concept I wanted to bring forward. So we have this. Let's see where it goes. Oh, and we have that with that back synth doing a wonderful syncopated motif. We have two concepts right now. Motif, of course, being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed from which everything else comes from, and syncopation. Syncopation is when you are playing against the beat. Right now, we have a very straightforward beat given to us by the kick drum. That bass drum, that is giving us the beat. Syncopation just means you are not playing 100% according to that beat. We can go into time signature and everything, but that's just the short version of it. Let's see where it goes. Some build up. Clever. We had simulated active panning without actually having active panning. There were two separate tracks of a synth. One was going up on the left ear, and then a different one started playing going down on the right ear. They were both playing at the same time, so I know it wasn't active panning, but it sounded like active panning. Why? I don't know. But that was fun. Let's see where we take this. So yeah, this synth up there is being doubled by more percussion. I think it's either toms from the drum kit or it's orchestral percussion. But it is giving it more oomph to each time the note hits because of that. Because we have the drums doing this very straightforward drum beat, and this just bum 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 bum. Very cool. Fairly straightforward when it comes to syncopation, but it works, dude. But it works. You don't get a Nintendo yet? Yeah, there you go. So now we bring a second line above that, doing a slightly different version of a motif. Ezekiel, welcome today. How you doing? We have, instead of playing one note at a time, it's playing kind of like an arpeggio. Arpeggio is when you play a chord one note at a time, and it's going in a very interesting direction, because the syncopation there, the first syncopation, the first theme that we heard was very straightforward. As I said, very straightforward. This other one is a lot more subtle. It's a lot more subtle. So, bring it out. Nice, Delvik. Nice. Let's see where this goes. Okay, and now we do a reverse of one of the colloquial terms that I use, which is going off the ramp. One way of transitioning between sections, if you want the listener to feel like they are now suspended up in the air, we went off a ramp, you go off the ramp, you remove the what's it called, the drums, and maybe even the bass. Right now, we've done the opposite. We've kept the listener grounded. While waiting now. So now, instead of going off the ramp, we're doing kind of the opposite. We're being dragged through. Interesting thing. Thank you, Zelmik. Let's see. Oh, and we're slowing down. Change of tempo. We slow down. Oh no, erratic tempo. Okay, so what we're doing here is we are changing the tempo. We are finally getting to talk about tempo. Tempo, Italian for time, is just the speed at which your notes are played. Nowadays, we have metronomes, which you can just set them to specific beats per minute. Now we call them BPM. Beats per minute. And we are doing active tempo switches. Those are difficult to do live, but it's pretty good. Nowadays, with the age of technology, having metronomes, very, very useful. Back in the day, we used to not have them. And most of the time, most people will not be able to accurately do tempo according to a metronome. We used to have different expressions. Like the most common type of tempo back in the day was allegro, which was happy-ish. We had andante, where it was like for a march. We have lento, which means slow. These kinds of expressions we used to have. Nowadays, we just say, 120 BPM, 120 beats per minute, which is a very straightforward thing. For every second, there's 2 beats. And that's the most common BPM that we have nowadays. So it's a lot more straightforward nowadays than it used to be, because back in the day you had to kind of imagine the vibe and everything. So Sloth, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the mosh pit. Welcome today. How you doing? So yeah, no, we have that. It used to not be as smooth as it is nowadays when it came to the interpretation, but it also gave the directors more wide. Nice, thank you. It used to be a wider range of what was acceptable, because if you look up the different time signatures or the time expressions, I forget the name right now, you would see ranges. Okay, so allegro would usually be between this BPM, this BPM, And back in the day, when you had an orchestra, you needed, well, you still need a director, a conductor. And the reason why that is because that is the closest we had to a metronome. That's why you will see a what's it called? The conductor at the front waving that baton, the wand that it seems. It serves a very, very useful purpose, because one, having a metronome ticking in an orchestra, not very practical. So it's better to just have that visual. It's okay, Salty. We can figure that out after. We can change that afterwards. Having the conductor do this, however, to conduct an orchestra, you need to be a certain level of insane. You 100% need to be a certain level of insane to conduct an orchestra, which nowadays we don't have to worry about as much with these types of ensembles. But I just wanted to bring that up, that we had a tempo change. We slowed it down, we speed it up. Very, very unusual for a transition, but it does give, I mean, it's legendary battle, so it does give it that sense of unpredictable. So, program called Maestro, where celebrities try conducting an orchestra and finding out it's insanely hard. Yeah, I learned how to conduct an orchestra, and I very quickly learned that I am never conducting an orchestra. The amount of control and knowledge you need to be a certain level of certifiably crazy to conduct an orchestra. Like, every conductor you will ever meet is insane one way or another. That's simple, right? So let's see. Where this goes. We sped up. So welcome to today. And we slowed down. Ooh. So we're pushing the brakes here. We're bringing... Oh my god, so that's what it was. So the second motif that we had, the syncopated, the reason why it sounded off back then is because it was in the wrong tempo. It was on the wrong tempo. The conductor is the one that gives the tempo to the orchestra and gives the cues to the different orchestral elements of the piece. I can go into more detail about that, but basically, you stand up in front of the entire orchestra and you give the time signature, and you are the visual metronome to the players. And the conductor also helps give the cues and helps the players play as a single unit. Because don't forget, an orchestra can be anywhere between 20 and 150, 200, 300 people. So having that without a drum set going the 1, 2, 3, 4, having something like that, and even then, it's difficult to keep that with a drum set, especially because classical music tends to not have those. So, hey, thank you for the super chat. Tends to not have that. So, yeah, that's that you need somebody at the front to make sure that the tempo is kept up consistently, because classical music tends to have a lot of those fluctuations, which we're having right now. Going back to this, that second version of the motif was being played at the wrong tempo. We were having a type of like polytempo. Because we have the concept of polyrhythm, where you have rhythm against rhythm. You were having something like that. Oh my god, this is insane. Let's see where this goes. Sequence, we bring it up. Modulation. No, we're going back. There we go. Again, with the transitionary, we're still bringing some of the elements back. We're introducing them some little bit, one after the other. Ooh. Interesting. These are out of tune a little bit. Like, it's making it sound like things are going off the rails. They are going out of control. And oh my god, this is insane. This is insane. Thank you, Ezekiel. Thank you so much, dude. Yeah, we are revisiting some of the stuff. Yep, recapitulation. So this is almost a straightforward recapitulation. So all those fluctuations going back and forth in the tempo were to bring us back. So right now, structurally speaking, we are in a very surprisingly straightforward ABA. We had section A, which was the introduction, how we heard it. Then we moved on to section B after that transition. We kept some of the same elements with all those tempo fluctuations. Right now, we are, it sounds like A. It sounds like we're just back to A. Let me just hear. Yeah, we're just straight up back to A. Considering this is for an older title, this might be just as A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, and it just loops infinitely, and this is going to fade out because of that. But let's see. Yep, it's slowing down. Nice, Resi, nice. Okay, yep, it's straight up. We're going straight to B again. Let's see. Not quite. B prime. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, B prime. B prime. Let's see. Yeah, this sounds like it's gonna fade out. I think this is gonna fade out. Yeah, there you go. It fades out. It's not surprising here. What year did Pokemon Black and White 2 come out? I have Google here. Pokemon Black White 2 release date. 2012. So this was a release title for the Nintendo DS. Okay, so there you go. That is why. That is why we have the system limitations, the physical limitations of this kind of stuff. So fade out here is acceptable because the Nintendo DS had tiny cartridges and Nintendo was dealing with limited, very, very limited space. So DSi, yeah, DS, DSi, that generation of just having the physical cartridges. So, yeah, man, this game came out the year I graduated high school. So, take that for what it is. So, yeah, there you go. It explains why it is such a straightforward, because it wasn't A, B, A prime, B prime. This was a simple binary. A lot of Nintendo music, a lot of stuff from these cartridge-oriented, cartridge-driven or cartridge games will have simple binaries that just loop over and over until the section is over, because that saves space in the memory. And considering that, you know, the Nintendo DS, as much as we were fairly advanced in regular console and computer technology back in 2012, mobile still had a bunch of limitations. So that explains why we had to fade out, because for these purposes, the game itself did not fade out. The game itself would just cut the music once the section is over. So in this case, the fade out is just a necessary evil over here. But there you go. That was actually clever. The whole use of tempo and everything. That was wild. I'm impressed. But there you go. There you have it. That was legendary battle music. Boy, that felt legendary indeed, because it felt so unpredictable. From the Pokemon Black and White 2 OST. Once again, everybody, this has been the Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I hope I have explained things to you in a way that you don't have to be a professionally trained musician to understand more or less what has happened here musically. If you're watching this video on the archive, thank you for watching. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, consider doing one of them paid memberships since we just got monetized, support the channel and the work that we do over here, and all that good stuff. If you want to request a song and you're not watching this on the live stream, go to the Discord server, link down below. Go to the LFA requests channel. Instructions are there on the pinned messages. So there you go. And if you want to watch these live on air, the links to the Discord and the Twitch stream schedules are down below, like they are on the Twitch channel, the streams tab, stream schedule tab. On the Discord, we have the stream schedule channel that show the starting times on your local time zone so that you don't have to bother with calculating or anything like that. And there you go. There you go. That was very interesting. That was very, very interesting use of, especially the use of tempo. I'm still processing that. All right, so there you go. That was the legendary battle music from Pokemon Black and White 2. Good stuff, good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.